Hi, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our picks and your picks, it's going to be another profitable day for you. NBA college basketball, December 22nd, Friday, before we get to this holiday weekend. Not a ton of games today, except in college basketball. You could go crazy today. We do like a couple college basketball games. We'll get into those first. Then we'll get into this shortened NBA schedule. But we do like I do apologize there for a quick second. We did Texas minus, well, I guess we're not, let's see here. 1 second here. So we do like just one college basketball game that we're going to get into. It's a little bit later on today. Kansas at Yale, 6 o'clock out, 6 o'clock here in Arizona, so 7 o'clock in Lawrence and 8 o'clock out east. Kansas favored 14.5, 15, depending on what book you're at. Total around 142.5. Kansas plays extremely well at home. That number 2 ranking is indicative of how good they are this year. They have so much experience. Yale plays there quite a bit, and Yale never quite gets home, keeping it within the distance. But expect Yale to put up a little bit of battle, maybe the first 10 minutes of the game, and then Kansas kind of take over and cruise from there. But we do like Kansas today. We do like KU minus 8.5 first half and minus 14.5 for the game. So one more time, Kansas minus 18.5. Minus 8.5 first half and minus 14.5 for the game. Now we'll get into the NBA slate. Like I said, a little bit. Let's see, we got 3, 4, 5, 6 games on the schedule today. Tomorrow, about the same, and then Sunday they're off, and then the Monday 5-pack that we get for the NBA. So games and they're not going to be. There's still quite a bit of plays I think to make on today's card. Some of these games a little bit more difficult than others because players are missing. But we'll get to the first game, which is one of our 2 best games, or 2 most involved games. Raptors at the 76ers. 76ers are 8.5-point favorite. 231, 230.5 total, depending on where you're at. We do like the 76ers. They're just on one of those runs. They beat the T-Wolves the other night. The Raptors, they've beat twice already this season, on the road and at home. And they won the game at home, I think, by 14 or 15. Scotty Barnes is playing well for the Raptors, but I don't know if you can say there's a bunch of other guys for the Raptors that are like playing above board. So we do like the 76ers today. Some of these games, just hoping we don't see blowouts, because that's been kind of the big thing that's been costing us money on player props, is they're up 20 in the fourth quarter and nobody plays the fourth, and all of a sudden you should be on these over props that should hit. A lot of unders are coming in. So we are going to take the 76ers minus 2.5 first quarter, minus 4.5 first half, minus 8.5 for the game. Maxey over 26.5 points. We love Joel Embiid. He's been on one of those runs, but when your point total gets up to 35.5, you almost want to play the under there. Eventually, he's not going to continue to score 40 plus a game. But we do like Maxey today over 26.5 points. Scotty Barnes, like we mentioned before, over 20.5 rebounds. We do like Embiid over 11.5 rebounds and over 1.5 blocks. And that Embiid block total has paid handsomely for quite some time as he continues to get a couple blocks a game. And then we also like the 76ers over the 119.5 team total in this one. Just don't know if the Raptors are going to score, 123, 110. I guess barely gets you to an over, but it's pretty tight if you wanted to play the total over on that one. I think the 76ers are good for $120 plus without sweating too hard. But we'll go through these plays one more time. 76ers minus 2.5 first quarter, minus 4.5 first half, minus 8.5 for the game. Maxey over 26.5 points. Scotty Barnes over 20.5 points. Embiid over 11.5 rebounds. Embiid over 1.5 blocks. And the 76ers over the 119.5 team total. Next game up, going to be the Nuggets at the Nets. Nets 4.5-point home dog, 230 total. It should be an interesting game. I think, definitely alternate styles. Everything runs through Jokic on the, Nuggets side. The Nets side kind of play a lot of, freewheeling basketball, so to speak, until the ball gets to Cam Thomas and the ball stops there. But it's one of those games, it's like, you got a bunch of 3-and-D guys on one team, and then you've definitely got like point guard, center, more traditional type team, except the fact that the center's kind of the point guard on that one. We don't have anything on the side or the total on this particular game. The one thing that we do have is Jokic over 12.5 rebounds and Mikal Bridges over 19.5 points. So one more time, Jokic over 12.5 rebounds, Mikal Bridges over 19.5 points in that Nuggets and Nets matchup. Next game up, Hawks Heat. Heat 1 point home favorite, 238.5 total on this game. Don't like the side or the total on this one too much. Hawks have been playing a lot better. They beat the Rockets at home, which has not been easy to do so far this season. Trae Young has played well. His point total went way down today, which makes you a little nervous. He's been in the 30 mark, and all of a sudden it's back down to 27.5. I know the Heat play defense, but I don't know if it's worth the 3 points difference. But we're going to stay away from that one, though. We do like Clint Capella over 10.5 rebounds. And then also Tyler Hero over 2.5 3-pointers. And if you watch our show or follow our show, you'll notice Hero is also our best bet for the NBA today. So Hero over 2.5 3-pointers and Clint Capella over 10.5 points. Next game up, Mavs, Rockets. Rockets 8.5 point home favorite, 223 total. It makes you extremely nervous. No Doncic today, but sometimes these teams without their star all of a sudden put together a game. I'm not sure if the Mavs can do that, so we're going to stay away from the total on this one here. We do like Fred VanVleet in this game. Fred VanVleet's been on fire. He hit a best bet for us this week already, but we'll take VanVleet over 19.5 points is the only play that we have on this particular matchup here. Next game up, Suns, Kings. Kings 3.5 point home favorite, 244 total. We're in love with this game here. The Kings have played really well at home this season. The Suns have been an absolute disappointment, to say the least. So we're going to take the Kings. We like the over, as well as the Suns do not play defense and they don't rebound well. Obviously, we got way too much info on the Suns. And I will give you a heads up, there is one more game, the Wizards and the Warriors. We don't have any plays on yet, so do make sure you check out the Google Sheet at the end of the episode. We will update those bets on the Wizards and Warriors. We wanted to get these bets out to you a few hours early on the early games especially. But in this Kings game, we like Kings -1 first quarter, -1.5 first half, and -3.5 for the game. Over 61.5 total first quarter, over 124 first half, over 243.5 for the game. De'Aaron Fox over 29.5 points. Sabonis over 12.5 rebounds. Booker's assist total and turnovers came down, so we're going to play the over on those. Booker over 7.5 assists. He's normally been good for 8 a night. And then Booker over 2.5 turnovers, as well as the Kings over the 123.5 team total. I think they're going to put up 130 plus tonight. Would kind of be the way I think that game's going to go on that particular one. So just to give you a heads up on that. But anyway, the Kings -1 first quarter, -1.5 first half, -3.5 for the game. Over 61.5 first quarter total. Over 124 total first half. Over 243.5 total for the game. And then we've got Fox over 29.5 points. Sabonis over 12.5 rebounds. Like I mentioned, the Suns can't rebound worth a shit when Jokic is in there. It doesn't look like he's playing tonight or he's questionable. Sabonis might rack up 20 rebounds tonight. Booker over 7.5 assists. Booker over 2.5 turnovers. The Suns turn the ball over at an alarming rate, to say the least. And since the ball is mostly in Booker's hands, we'll go play those over turnovers. And then Kings over 123.5 team total. Like I did mention before, we are going to update some Warriors Wizards. That's one of those games again when we play the player props in here. Like Curry's at around 29.5, for example. The problem is he could sit the whole fourth quarter if they get some huge lead. So now you're looking at player prop points on guys that might still play at the end, like a Kuminga or maybe one of the guys from. There's not even a lot to choose from on the actual Warriors at the moment. So you might have to play a little bit weird on that one. It's fine. It's part of the deal, but there's so many blowouts that a lot of times, if you want to bet over on points on a lot of players, you got to make sure that that game's going to be somewhat competitive so they can play the whole way through. And then you still can get surprised. So on that one there. So that's kind of a rundown of what we've got basketball-wise for today on the 22nd. Like I've mentioned before, at the end of this episode, do make sure you check out the link in the comments section at the end of every episode that we have to our Google Sheet. It's a ledger of all of our bets, what juice we got those at, how many units we placed, what book we placed them at, and then obviously result. Basketball, we have been nice winning streak here, about 4 or 5 days plus. We're up over 1,400 units. Yesterday we got by the skin of our teeth, but that's better than not being profitable. I'll put it to you that way. So a little over 8 units up yesterday. But normally when these we have lower, like we have a smaller amount of games, we seem to do maybe a little bit better because we don't have maybe those 2 or 3 games we get crushed on. And that's happened a couple times here as of late, like the Rockets a couple nights ago. The Pelicans got all the wins and all that stuff, but missed all the player props. Halliburton and the Pacers are in this funk right. I don't know what's going on with Halliburton. Has just decided that he's going to pass first all damn game long. That Pacers team goes when he scores points as well. Like when he scores 25 to 30 points, that team runs and team wins. But he's been very non-aggressive. Like he's got a clear shot and he'll pass the ball. There was no Pacers today, so we didn't get sucked into the Halliburton bets. We love Halliburton. I think he's one of the most exciting players in the league to watch. But he's just got to shoot the ball more. But anyway, the 76ers have been hot. The Kings have been playing extremely well. So a lot of opportunities here today. A few other player props from some of the other games that we didn't have a side or a total on. So like I mentioned, make sure you check out that Google Sheet. We'll go through all of our bets. If you're into football as well, you'll see all the football bets that we've got going on. There's a ton of action with bowl season, the NFL on Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Monday. So there's a lot of things going on there as well. So make sure you check that out. And then make sure you subscribe and get notifications to the YouTube channel. It makes life really simple when you subscribe and turn those notifications on. Every time Sports Bets for Free drops a new episode with bets, you'll get a notification to your device or phone to let you know we dropped that, link you right in there, and you can start match them up with your bets, then give you that ton of confidence you need heading to the betting app or betting window. I do appreciate everybody's support as always, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.